right, we've had a chance to digest it now. We've had our chance to sit on back, see how Sunday went. Got to get ready for Jacksonville. And as soon as we start doing that, you get big news about Deshaun Watson and another alleged, this one different than the others, this time an alleged sexual assault from 4 years ago when he was in Houston, with his time with the Houston Texans. And, you know, this obviously, there's just so much going on with Watson right now as we kind of expected this season, right? It's going to be ups and the downs. But when it comes to the off-the-field stuff that we all thought was behind us, behind him, the Browns, we could just talk football, something like this happens. And the Browns have already come out to Mary Kay Cabot and said they have declined comment on this situation. They got to see how this all plays out. It's just yet another layer to this extremely complicated situation when it comes to Deshaun Watson. And we're back right, the time is a flat circle. We're right back into this stuff where it's like, you're talking football, but you can't talk football without the other stuff that's going on. And the impact that it could have if he gets suspended again. You know, people are already jumping on, and the Browns could use this to void his contract, and they could find that. Like, all this stuff, it's just, it's so hard to do it as a Browns fan, because I just want to talk football. Well, this stuff impacts football. He's missed time because of it. It's very clear at this point that time off has impacted him, or it's still on his mind, or what. Like, it's just, you can't talk about one without talking about the other. And here we are yet again with a horrible game played by Watson on Sunday. I've got some advanced stats, Ryan, from that game to tell you really how bad it was for Deshaun Watson. You know what those advanced stats are? My eyes. No, I'm just kidding. I actually have some stuff that is even worse about Deshaun Watson on Sunday. So we got to discuss that. We'll get to our 2 for Tuesday coming up. Guards! Have I not been a Joey Cantillo guy?
Yeah, you have.
Have I not been a Joey Cantillo guy?
I almost went to defend you on Twitter. Not that anybody was calling.
No, nobody's calling you out on Twitter.
I almost was going to say, yes, I can confirm.
I sent a tweet as he had the perfect game going. I knew it. Honestly, that Benintendi at bat, when he missed that first curveball high that almost hit him, I was like, I think it's coming to an end here. I was like, damn it. But what a start from him. Win for the Guards. Beat the hell out of the White Sox. You got the lead. You're 9 games out from just getting a playoff spot no matter what. Guards rolling. We'll talk about them coming up as well. It's official. Tristan Thompson back with the Cavs. It's going to be hard for me to continue defending that. I don't think he should have his jersey retired. We'll get to that coming up. Monday Night Football in the books. Getting ready for week 2. We got the grid. We'll get to our bracket. We got time up, the morning update. It's a beautiful 2 for Tuesday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you alongside. You can always follow us on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and the brand new Big Play app. You know what I did yesterday, Ryan? I created my account on the Big Play app. So you can create an account, as I did, and you can favorite your favorite shows. There's Bobby. Yeah. Oh, Schlegel. Love it. You know, the cool thing that I didn't even know about the app until I really started messing around on it, we have a 24-hour stream on there. You know, so our show replays a couple of times, you know, Hanford's show, Blake and Greg Williams. Like, there's a 24-hour stream on the app that you can get our content every single day. We ran yesterday from 2 to 4:30 and then from 1 a.m. to 3:30. But
and 11 though. It's 11 to something.
11 is something. Like right after our show?
No,
11 p.m.
like 11 p.m.
Yeah. So there's 24 hours on there. Of course, they had Chuck Booms on yesterday on Blake and Greg's show. I've known Chuck for a long time. I don't want to spoil anything. I can't say anything. But anyway, it's all there for you in the Big Play app. You can create your account. And then the other cool thing is you can just favorite the show. Please favorite our show. Oh, I'm going to favorite our interview with Warren Sharp. There it is right there. So you can check it out with the Big Play app. We got it all for you right here. All right, man. You know, a lot of what I said yesterday, I know our clips, especially on IG, a lot of people were understanding what I was talking about yesterday when it came to Deshaun Watson. And my point yesterday was we need to set aside everything from a football standpoint when it comes to Deshaun Watson, of what you thought he was in Houston, what you thought you were getting here. We're not there, okay? For the people that had the idea that he was just going to come back off that suspension, and then come back off this injury and just be the same guy that he was in Houston, that dream is over. That dream is dead. So your only path forward on this is what I've been saying. View Deshaun Watson as a reclamation project, as a quarterback that you need to rebuild back up into what you hope can be a franchise quarterback. That process is going to be long, it's going to be hard, it's going to be ups and downs, but you can no longer just look at it and say, well, Watson's just going to get back to form. He's just going to come back and be the same guy. I'm talking about breaking everything back down, almost to a point that I know we changed this offense for Deshaun Watson. Ryan, I'm almost ready to jettison that and say, you want to know what? We're going to go back to Kevin Stefanski's offense. And we're going to go back to a role that people didn't want me to say, and they were upset when I said game manager. Let's get him back to that. Let's start from there. Instead of, we're going to act like he's an elite quarterback, he's not anymore. It's over. So now let's take it back where he's just going to manage the game, and we're going to run a lot of extra tight end sets. Now, of course, what does that have to come up to? David Njoku's going to be out for a little bit with that ankle injury. But what I'm saying is, when you look back on how it went on Sunday, with how bad things went, you have no choice but to try to rebuild Deshaun Watson back up. Now, there is a chance, we'll get to our 2 for Tuesday in a second. We all got the alert yesterday about the alleged, I want to make sure that we keep using that word alleged because we don't know what happened, an alleged sexual assault. Now, here's what, again, from at this point, this is different than the other things that he was accused of, right? If you read that article like I did, and you read what was filed in court yesterday, that is rape. That is rape. That is sexual assault, is what was filed yesterday. That's a little different than some of the things that he had to deal with and pay out in the past. Now, again, I wasn't there. You weren't there. We don't know. A lot of people instantly, well, why did you take 4 years to file this? Why didn't you come out when all the other women came out? I don't have the answers to that question. I don't know. I have no idea, right? And then you have these like Deshaun Watson fan accounts that are out there saying that this is the story's made up. How the hell do you know? How do you know? I don't, right? Do you see that account?
Yes.
Everybody's jumping on it thinking like it was Watson or something. That's some fan account sitting there saying, oh, this is made up. How in the world do you know? You don't. I can't comment on what happened or not, right? And it's just, Ryan, we are back to the same stuff that we dealt with 2 years ago. And you would think eventually this would come to an end. Maybe not. And the Browns making this move, when they did, understood all the baggage that came with it. But I would also have to assume they didn't believe that was all of it, right? Was there a little part? Fans are different. We're different. Where I thought this was behind us and we can move forward just on football, but that's us putting our head in the sand. You had to assume that maybe there was a chance that there was going to be more. And the contract stuff gets so hard because what did Mike Florio say yesterday on Pro Football Talk, right? There's a path if this is to be found out, if he is charged, if, there's a path they could void this contract and get out of it. Now, does that get their money back? I don't get my draft picks back. I don't get the waste of 2 seasons back. If they really want to get out of this deal, then just do it. With the money beat, and I'm sorry to the Haslams, I'm sorry you cut a check and you're not going to get that money back. That's their problem. That's not my problem. The ultimate question that I have here is if Deshaun Watson is going to help get my football team to the place that I want to go. And right now, the answer to that question is no. So if they really want to get out of this, I don't think they need some sort of thing like this to try to use this to void the contract to get their money back. And again, it comes back to he's playing so poorly. How is anybody in this town defending him anymore? I really, there are just probably people that are blind that are just hoping he gets back there, but he's playing bad and you've got another sexual case. How are we back in this, man? And the thing is, I'm not the one that's got to make a decision. You're not the one that can make the decision. We can talk about it, and we can root for the Browns on Sunday. It's Andrew Berry, Paul DePodesta, and the Haslams that have to have this conversation. Are we sticking by this? And who knows? To play this other side of it, maybe this case, I have no idea. Maybe it doesn't have merit. And the Browns might come out with the same thing. No comment. We have to let the legal process play out. The NFL is watching this. So the thing that Florio said, he's back on the hook for a suspension. This is different than all the other stuff. And the one thing I did wonder about his contract, because I'm sure when they signed that contract, there was something in there. Well, I shouldn't say, this is just me. I'm assuming this. That they had something in there that said he can't lose money based on what has already happened. You know what I mean? Remember when everybody was talking about the discovery period? And there was a period of time for additional women to come forward if they wanted to. And if they didn't, then everything was closed off. This sounds like it's completely separate. This sounds like this is a whole brand new situation that has come up now with what is alleged to have happened 4 years ago in Houston. And filed, people want to make an argument or make a discussion about the timing of that filing. I don't know anything about it. But sounds like something that is completely separate, where he is back potentially eligible for a suspension and potential for the Browns if they really want to go after and void some of that contract to get the money back. But my point on the contract is we're already in this. The only way that this changes anything is if the Haslams want to try to get some of their money back. I'm looking at it more of, do you want to get out of this contract because of how bad he's playing? Are you at that point? And they're human beings. There's no way that it's not crossed the mind of the decision makers for the Cleveland Browns, especially after that game on Sunday, to go, we need to move on from Deshaun Watson. Not now you add in the other stuff. I'm talking about on the field. I'm talking about play on the field. There has to be doubt in that organization that he is going to be the guy to take you to the playoffs. And if you have that, once you start down that path, I don't think there's any way to come back.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but if Deshaun Watson is suspended again or placed on the exempt list, does that not void the rest of the guaranteed money that you owe him?
See, so here's where something, and maybe I don't know if Jack Duff would have the answer to that. Could they get the money back from the restructure? Because they cut him a check already.
Yeah.
I don't, the restructures, this is just me spitballing here. I'd imagine they've already paid him over $100 million just in restructures and cash. There's two things afoot here. Don't forget. There's the salary cap money, which is fake, and then there's real cash. They have restructured his deal every year. That is cutting him checks for $40 and $50 million. He's got that money. I don't know if they could just void the rest of it and not have to cut him any more checks. Could they go after the money that he's already got? And here's another reason why I don't want to say that I don't care about it, but here's my take. Ryan, they already navigate the salary cap just fine. If the Haslams are out their money, that's their problem. From my interest of the football team, they've been able to navigate the salary cap. I don't really care about salary cap relief. Now, I'm sure Andrew Berry would say, no, I need that relief because we're going to have to go sign a quarterback. We're going to have to go pay somebody all this money. And maybe that's the fight that has to be on. It's just, oh, man. Like, I really thought I was being completely naive and stupid. I really thought we were beyond this. I really thought it was over. And how the legal process has to go, again, about this was 4 years ago, like that whole thing that came out when he paid out. Is this just somebody else searching for money? I read something, they already have a dollar amount. They already won $1 million in damages. Is this something that Deshaun Watson would just pay that to not pursue this and avoid a suspension? Does the NFL say, we don't care, we're still suspending you? Because the other thing, let's have this discussion. I don't want to say his blanket statement. I want to talk through this. Would it be better or worse if the NFL just came out and suspended him because your decision is made? They suspend him, it's over.
Yeah.
If they suspend him, If they put Deshaun Watson back on that exempt list, it's over. Would you rather them make that decision, or would you rather the Browns have to make that decision?
I don't think the Browns will make that decision. So that being said, I want the league to make that decision because, listen, there's, like you said, they're human beings. The players are, like the owners are, right? Jimmy Haslam, he has an ego. He was, and allegedly, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but a lot of reporting says Deshaun Watson was his guy. He's the one who forced them on Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry.
Sure.
And if that's true, I don't think he's going to let it do it no matter what. I want the league to come in, and is that not best case scenario for us right now? Honestly,
no. And that's the thing. It's you brought him here because it's like, okay, I'd imagine that I'm going to put myself in the shoes of the Browns, Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, everybody's decision. What they probably thought was, here's an elite quarterback that we can get that's attainable. Those guys don't become available for a long time. Now, the reason he was available was all of this baggage. And you got to ask yourself, are we okay accepting all of this baggage to basically buy low? And I say that knowing they gave him a $230 million contract, to buy low on what you believe a franchise quarterback is. That is why they made the move that they did. But now he's not a franchise quarterback anymore. And now you've got even more alleged baggage that you have to deal with. I always thought about the path of this blowing up. And people would tell me, no, man, he's going to get back there and we don't have to deal with this anymore. And you thought you weathered the storm. After this past draft, what everybody said, all right, we got our draft picks back and Andrew Berry's working the cap just fine. You thought you had weathered it, and now you're back in the potential of this continuing to blow up. And when you add in how he's played, that meter is it's got to be the lowest that it's been since he's been here about people feeling it. Now, that's going to be our first 2 for Tuesday this morning. Do you still have belief in Deshaun Watson as a Browns quarterback?
Hell no.
All right, go vote that. It's yes or no.
Not even a question.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying for me.
Okay, I want to see how people do it. Do you still, and I almost wanted to put, like, do you have any belief left? And there will be people that say, I never had belief. Okay, we'll go vote now. Do you have any belief in Deshaun Watson as the Browns starting quarterback moving forward? And you factor in all this, you factor in his play, you get it all. That's going to be a simple yes or no on our 2 for Tuesday. 2 questions, 2 answers is always how we do it right here on the show. Do you have any belief in him moving forward? And I think there's a lot of people that might vote no, and that's how they've always felt. And there will be people out there that have the belief that he can be the starter and he can be the guy. You got to factor in the other stuff. Other news this morning from Scott Petrak, a Michael Hall's court hearing scheduled for today has been rescheduled for September 19th. He remains on the NFL's commissioner exempt list. So all that does is further this, right? And again, I don't know what's going in this. Maybe they're trying to, I have no idea. I can't even speculate. But the only thing is that now is pushed back almost a week and a half, and that's more time that he would spend on the commissioner's exempt list, right? So there's Michael Hall in this whole situation as well.
Gosh, man, just the amount of the laundry list of just disgusting behavior that alleged, like,
you know, I was going to ask you the same thing. Did the Browns, are they back to this viewed around the league or view outside of, like, they're just a crummy organization?
Well, they're certainly trending there if they're not there already.
Like, I went through the times of Johnny Manziel, and you had all this off-the-field stuff with Josh Gordon. Those were sometimes different. Don't forget Manziel got accused of domestic violence as well. But then we had the turn, right, where you had, I got to call it for what is the Baker era, right? You were playing football, but you had none of this other drama. And now you're back in it. Started with Perion Winfrey. And now you're in this with Michael Hall and Deshaun Watson. I would imagine the outside view of the Cleveland Browns as an organization is right back in the toilet.
Oh, it's flushed.
Like,
I mean, you listen. I'm in the car listening to Unsportsmanlike. Shout out Evan, Michelle, and Chris Canty. I mean, they're talking about Deshaun Watson right now. Is he legit the worst starting quarterback in the NFL?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like that was the easy thing to grab onto when he was playing poorly, and now you add this other factor to it.
Dude, if it's true, first of all, I hope it's not for that woman.
Sure.
If it's true, if it is, I hope the league steps in, puts him on the list, and we can cut him, and you move on. And this is a disgusting, huge blemish on the Browns organization.
What was alleged in that report? He's going to go to jail.
He's a freak if it's true.
He's going to go to jail.
I mean, it might
and
be
again,
true regardless.
We don't know. Again, that's the thing. We have no idea. We have no idea. And again, whatever happened with the other 20 women, but you also have to look at it and say, is this not a pattern?
Oh, it's more.
And again, it's like that goes back to a time of the past. And since Deshaun Watson has been here, what have we heard? He's been fine, right? There's been no additional ones.
Yeah, I also heard he looks good in camp.
Yeah, well, there was that thing too. I mean, I got to be delicate how we talk about this part of it. Is this something to sit back and say that was just a bad time in his life? And I've been one that has talked a lot about giving people second chances when they deserve it, when they ask for it. I think another giant problem in this whole thing is that Deshaun Watson, at least for me, and this is me talking, he has never accepted accountability for what happened, right? He was defiant when it started. Throughout the process, maybe understood a little bit. But this almost seems like a point, if he wants to maybe save his NFL career and maybe save his time with the Cleveland Browns, then maybe he needs to come out and air this all out and say, I was doing things wrong and I did things that I should not have done. Will that fix it? No. But maybe we're at that point now. And again, maybe none of that happened. I have no idea. To your point, Ryan, which is right, for what was alleged, I hope it didn't happen. I really didn't. As a violent rape, sexual assault, which is what is accused there. If that is found out, he's going to go to jail. He's going to go to jail. And, the other thing, because I got messages about this, remember that Matarazzi story?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say ruined his career, but didn't go off to go. We have no idea.
Oh, there's so many examples.
And then that's the sad part. That's the world we live. I wish I had a concrete answer. I wish we knew exactly what had happened, because then you'd be able to move forward with it and figure out how you want to do it. Ben Axelrod had a good tweet this morning, too. Would this be different if Watson was playing well?
Oh, 100%.
Probably. But do you sit there as the Browns? Do you think they're having conversation about voiding that contract?
Oh, how could they not?
How could they not? And getting out of it. I mean, then it comes back to if you really have the decision, if you want to move on. I'm not saying I'm there yet. To our Twitter question this morning, I hit the retweet on that. At Matt Fontana Show drops father. Do you still have belief in Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? Ryan, you want to know a crazy answer I was almost going to say? I've got no choice but to say yes.
Well, yeah.
I've got no choice. Like that.
Yeah, but you're lying to yourself.
But that's really where I'm at. I have no choice at this juncture. If you ask me this question in 6 weeks, I might have a different answer for you. The one thing that I think I differ in some people, Watson off the field aside, or how I feel about him, whatever, that aside, I have no choice. He is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And I think the only path to get him back is to do what I've been saying. Take it down to rookie level type stuff and see if you could build up. Now you're shaking your head. Why? Because you go, it probably isn't going to work.
Because I rewatched the entire game yesterday, Matt. It was worse than I thought it was.
I know.
It was worse than I thought it was. And I thought it was pretty damn bad.
Right. So then the other part of that, it could be an exercise in futility. We could be wasting our time, and the Browns could be wasting their time. Do you know what my comeback to that again is? What else am I going to do? Go to Jameis Winston. Your season's fried then. The future of your franchise is fried.
At least
I might as well, at least, even if it's the smallest chance that he can return to some form of a starting quarterback. For right now, that's all I've got. So I might as well hang on to that. Because at the end of the season, you want to know what? If it's not, you're still going to be in the same boat. Okay, I guess this is a more succinct way for me to say my point. You ready? Let's say today they say we're done with Deshaun Watson. We're going to go to Jameis Winston. Ryan, what are they doing after the season?
They're well,
Finding
I'm trying
a
to think of it. Oh well, 100%.
Finding a
In my head, I was just going through the free agents that would be
Ewers or
available,
Carson Beck, yeah.
or that route, or free agent route. But I'm thinking like,
but the all-encompassing. You go to Jameis Winston today. What are you doing after the season? Finding a quarterback.
you have to, yeah.
Okay. You ride it out with Deshaun Watson, and it goes bad. What are you doing after the season? Finding a quarterback. You're
valid.
in the same spot.
That's valid. That's
You're
100% true. That's 100%
spot.
true. But there is a case in point for, and I'm not in the locker room. Right. I don't know how the players feel about Deshaun Watson.
Right.
They have wives. They have daughters.
Sure.
I don't know how they feel about Deshaun Watson. You don't want to lose a player and I don't know how they feel. Let's just take Miles, for instance, your best player, the face of your franchise. Let's say he's done with Deshaun Watson. He's sick of his behavior, and he wants Jameis Winston. Not only for better quarterback play, which you hope to get, but just in terms of your franchise showing that they care about how these women are treated.
Very much so. And then the other side, I'm discrediting that Jameis Winston couldn't get you to the playoffs.
True.
Right? I'm discrediting that you couldn't go there with the Joe Flacco level type of play again, all that kind of stuff. And I'm dismissing that, and I admit that. You're right, 100%. But with the whole situation, you've done so much, you gave up so much, I guess I'm not ready to give up yet. There I said, I'm not ready to give up on Deshaun Watson. Again, all this off the field stuff aside, because when he came here, I didn't like it. And I still don't like it today even more. I'm talking about just on the field. But you're right, you can't just say that. You have to factor in that we got to deal with this stuff, that Myles Garrett's going to have to stand up on that podium on Friday and get asked questions about it again. They're going to have Joe Bitonio up there, and he's going to have to answer questions about it again, over and over again. And that's not good situations to put your teammates in. I understand that. From a pure football standpoint, I'm not ready to give up on Deshaun Watson yet because I frankly don't have another option. Again, I know Winston's here and all that.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If Jameis Winston starts every game the rest of the season, do the Browns make the playoffs?
I still don't think so. So that's another factor in this. I still don't think that. And it's in part, yes, I saw what Flacco did. Ryan, we know that was a 1 in a million shot, man. That was a lightning strike that might not ever happen again. You know, the graphic I saw yesterday. Joe Flacco in his Browns career, 5 300-yard games. In Deshaun Watson's career at the Cleveland Browns, 0
Jameis Winston would come
300
in. Jameis Winston would
games.
start in Jacksonville and throw for 300 yards. I actually truly believe that.
Again, maybe I'm this. We'll get there. And because then the other balance on that is what? If you have that belief, then you better go to Winston tomorrow. You cannot let any more of these games slip away.
Yeah, I agree.
But then you got the contract. Then you have all this other stuff.
Can you say? Do you think you can say without a lick of doubt that if you were Jimmy Haslam, you're Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, that if you had your choice and you could just snap your fingers and pick what happens in this with this whole Deshaun debacle with this new case coming up, don't you think they would, without a doubt, 100%, like make the if they could choose to have the commissioner put him on the exempt list and you don't have to pay him the rest of his guaranteed money? Would they do that?
I think they'd rather have him play because I think you're too far in. You're too deep into this. You're too deep into this to just give up now, right? You're too far into this. And especially for the Haslams. And again, if they made the decision or whoever made the decision, they shelled all of this out. I said this before the season too. For Deshaun Watson to not be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, just talking football again, I needed it to be unequivocally true, without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, we're getting close.
He can't play anymore, and you're right.
I don't know how much more you need to
yet.
see.
I know we're close. We are on the precipice. We are this close, but I'm not there yet.
Oh,
I know.
You got one toe on hanging off a cliff.
Let's see how Sunday goes, and maybe I'll have a different answer for you on Monday. But I said, until it is just without a shadow of a doubt, you got to ride this out. But again, now you've got this off the field stuff that changes all of it. What do I think is going to happen? To your initial question, what do I think is going to happen? Okay, this is obviously just me. Here's what I think is going to happen. He's going to play Sunday. The NFL will come out with a statement that says something like, we are monitoring this situation. I don't think the Browns are going to have anything to do with this. I think this is all the league. And when the league sits down, what's the first thing they're going to say? Repeat offender, right? In this situation, this is not something new, okay? They were pretty swift on putting Mike Hall on that commissioner's exempt list. And again, there was allegations. The uncooperative witness sounds like at this point she's retracted some of her statements. He's still on that list. I think the NFL will step in.
Well,
and they'll put him on the commissioner's exempt list.
All of Cleveland can hope.
I mean, and again, at that, they do that, it's over. They do that, it's over. And I think even at that point, no matter what money is owed to him, you just have to say, we're done. You know, that's it. And I'm sure you're right. That would be a very clear void of that contract, and I'm sure they could fight it in court and all that kind of stuff. You just have to eat it at that point and move forward. And you know, that comes back to, again, you got a full season in front of you. You got all these things going to happen to you for the rest of the season. You know, you turn it over to Jameis Winston. I don't know, man. I think he's going on the exempt list, though. I think he's going to. Whether that's soon, I have no idea. You know, and you know, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say, you know, the timing is a little interesting on this whole thing, right? Like, that's one that I don't know, man.
The Watson 30 for 30 in 10 years is going to hit like crack.
Well, the one thing that I've had, I don't want to say, I got into it with somebody about this a long time ago when he first came here. And my comments is the same then as it is now. Don't forget that Deshaun Watson is the one that put himself in these situations, okay? I don't know what was alleged to have happened. But I'll tell you this, Ron. You know what somebody can't ever make up about me is sexual assault, because I've never, ever even been in that situation in my life. Deshaun Watson did this. Deshaun Watson put himself in these situations. This is not something out about trying to get after somebody or the fact that he's a minority and that he's unfairly being treated by the justice system. Go watch that Tyreek Hill video and tell me that wasn't a factor there. That video is horrendous. Don't forget that Deshaun Watson is the one that put himself in these situations. So when this stuff comes back up, we can't sit here and go, oh my gosh, that's crazy. That is insane that something like that would have ever happened. He put himself there. And I understand that star athletes and young players with a lot of money and all that stuff, whatever. It's just like the Browns must have thought once we get through this storm, we'll be fine. He'll be our starting quarterback forever. And right now, it doesn't seem that way at all. So what they do from here, I really think is predicated a lot on what the league is going to do here. In the league, they don't like Deshaun Watson. They don't. And if they are ones that can make examples out of this over and over again, they're going to do it. Again, the Browns said that they have no comment right now.
Of course they don't.
The league, I think, has to have one today. The league has got to send something out today to get some sort of message out. At least like we're monitoring this situation or we are aware of it. And could they maybe say like, hey, we're going to let the legal process play out?
Heard that one before.
Can I give you one more just because it entered my mind? How would you feel, or would it change anything if he came out and like the other ones, they just came to a settlement and this one all went away?
I mean,
you'd still sit there and say we had yet another one, right? You're over it.
I'm over
You're over it, right? You're over it. That's a good way to think about it. Like with everything that's gone on, with how he's played and the off the field stuff, you just feel over it. You're exhausted. I am too. And the thing is, there might be no payoff. There might be no thing. And, you know, a saying that I have adopted just with things that have happened even in my life, this too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. And I say that not about the sexual assault or the off the field stuff. I'm talking about just as a Browns fan. We've been down before. And we've gone through bad regimes and we've gone through bad times. Even if this is truly one of the most horrible mistakes that's ever been made by an NFL organization, if that's truly where we end up getting to, this too shall pass. This team will still be here, whether it's Brook Park or downtown. They'll still be here, and we'll get through it. Okay? Whatever happens, this is not something that you will be shouldered with this for 10 years. You can still compete. You can still play well. You can still get there. I still have really good players on this team. That's it. That's all the things that I really sit here and I try to remind myself. People want to say, oh, my God, the worst contract in NFL history. Oh, my God, you gave up the 3 picks. This too shall pass. You get through it. It'll be all right. It'll be okay. And we'll all still be Browns fans sitting here at the end of it, right? It sucks. Let it play out. Let it play out. And if in 3 weeks we don't have Deshaun Watson on this team anymore, we'll still be down there rooting for this team trying to win. If he is here, I hope that's the other thing too. Even with everything that's going on and with how bad it's looked, I still want Deshaun Watson to play well because he's quarterback for my team. I still want the Browns to go to the playoffs. I still want them to win Sunday and beat Jacksonville. That's my rooting interest in this thing. Do I like Deshaun Watson as a person? No, I do not. No, I do not. Should that factor in as you root for teams? Absolutely. Why do you love Stephen Kwan? Because he's yet again nominated as Roberto Clemente Man of the Year. Why do you love Joel Bitonio? Because he's nominated as your Walter Payton Man of the Year. Why do you love Myles Garrett? Why do you love Donovan Mitchell? Because they're good people. Sure. And they're good players. It ain't easy, man. It's not. It's just never easy.
Well, the question is now, if this does blow up in our faces, which it looks like it's pretty imminent at this point.
Shall pass.
Well, let me ask you this, though. It'll pass, like all things do. Time heals all wounds.
Time does.
We know that. But the question is, will someone and should somebody have to answer for this Deshaun Watson trade? And it's obviously Deshaun's going to answer for whatever happens to himself. But I mean, outside of Deshaun Watson, right? And really, when I say that, I'm asking about Andrew Berry.
Yeah.
Because you know it's not going to be Jimmy Haslam.
Here's the thing. I don't even need what you're talking about is a pound of flesh. You need somebody to come on and go, this was my mistake, and I own this, and all of that. I don't really care. Because even if, and that's a big if, Andrew Berry was truly the one that pulled the trigger on this, I don't want Andrew Berry fired. Even if Paul DePodesta was the one. Have you seen what Paul DePodesta's been able to create here with the Cleveland Browns? And if it was the Haslams, they're not firing themselves. So what's the point? What's the point? The people that are here that could have been the decision makers are people that I want here. So going to get a pound of flesh from them on who made this decision or not, I don't really care.
But then it begs the question, well, is Andrew Berry the one to get you there?
I believe in Andrew Berry. I do.
There being the promise.
I believe him very much. I believe in him very much. Yes, he misses on some wide receivers and all that kind of stuff, but I think Andrew Berry is very good at being a general manager of an NFL team. I believe very much in Kevin Stefanski.
Well, there's your answer.
So that pound of flesh, I don't really care about. I'm not sitting there trying to keep score on this whole damn thing. The only score I care about is Sunday. That's it. I don't care. Anything else, missed draft picks or missing that, I do not care. I've never once looked back on general managers and go, man, Ray Farmer got a 1 for Trent Richardson. Check. Great job, man. I don't do that. It's what you do on Sundays. It's what you do on the field that I care about. In some sense, talking about general managers, things like that. That is what I care about. So as far as going after a pound of flesh, if this goes bad, that's all behind me. The draft picks, money, it's all gone. I don't really care. I really don't. I want the Browns to play well, and I hope we get there. All right, some more reaction from Sunday before we get into some guards. I said I had a stat that wasn't great. So Dan Graziano does his overreactions for Week 1 games, and he's got 5 of them. I want to run through the other 4, but we start with the Cleveland Browns. Dan Graziano's overreaction, or the statement, and then we decide if it's an overreaction or not. The statement is this. Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns by Halloween. God, I wish I could play the theme for Halloween. So good. It's September. It's not early enough. It's not too early to watch Halloween. Do you know Halloween's a top 10 movie for me all the time?
Of course I know that.
Yeah, just making sure. I didn't watch it tonight. It's been too long. All right, here we go. Here's the write-up from Graziano. The Browns did a lot to try to improve their offense. Jerry Jeudy changing the offense, all that other kind of stuff. But Sunday, that's not what happened. Watson looked abysmal. He went 24 of 45 for $169, a touchdown, a pair of interceptions. Here's the stat you didn't like. Watson finished 0 for 9 on passes thrown 15 yards or more down the field and only averaged 2.6 yards per pass completion. That's the lowest mark of his career. Why did that stat hit with me, Ryan? 15 yards. That's not 25 yards. He was 0 of 9 on passes over 15 yards.
I mean, we all saw it.
I know, but it's like you cannot win that way. No. There was no way. Obvious. Yes, Captain Obvious. Thank you very much. And he said the pressure had a lot to do with that. It was an ugly start. Overreaction or not, from Dan Graziano, that Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback for the Browns by Halloween. What do you think he said?
I think if it's up to his, if it's a solely decision based on his play, no. If it comes out that he gets suspended or placed on the exempt list,
take that out. It has nothing to do with this.
Then I will say no.
It's an overreaction. He says that. Graziano says, it looked bad, but the Browns are heavily invested in Watson and need him to play well in order to feel confident about their short and long-term future. He'll get a longer leash as the starter. Jed Wills should be back. They're not going up against Micah Parsons every week, and this is still a team that won 11 games last year and went to the playoffs. The Browns will keep giving Watson every chance to show he can be the guy, and if at the end of the season he still doesn't look like that, then they will have some tough questions to answer. That's pretty much exactly where I'm at. You're going to give him every opportunity that you can. It could still go bad, but I think at the end of the day, you're still going to be in the same spot. Whether you play him all year, whether you flip him out for somebody else, I think eventually you're going to get back to the same spot. So I might as well, for the small little chance that the path is that he turns it around, I'll leave that door open for right now.
So let me ask you this. Do you think if Deshaun Watson comes in, he would play better than, let's say you have Deshaun Watson who plays the next 16 games versus you have Jameis Winston who plays the next 16 games.
Yeah.
Are you saying that while there's a chance Jameis Winston, which I truly believe at the end of the year plays better than Deshaun Watson, or are you solely banking on the ceiling, the lick of hope that Deshaun Watson returns to form?
Well, the thing is, you would like to believe, and this is a great question about what we talked about with Watson. The belief was that his ceiling would blow away anything that Jameis Winston could ever be, right? Like, oh my God, what Watson should be, it should be 10 times better than whatever Jameis Winston could you get. Now, what I'm talking about is even just trying to get him back to a level of Jameis Winston. What would your comeback be then? Why go through all of that when you could just have Jameis Winston, right? Because it's the hope that he could ascend to be higher. The other factor that you got to remember in this whole thing, Ryan, what's one thing that we worry about? An issue that the Browns face as far as the rest of the NFL. Everybody's really freaking good. We are now, at least in my fandom, I have never seen so many teams with their franchise quarterback, for better or for worse, right? But you just go around the AFC, certainly the NFC, and you're just clicking off Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson. Anybody else in the AFC I'm forgetting? I mean, Aaron Rodgers to a point. Josh Allen. NFC, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Matt Stafford for now, Kyler Murray. Like, you just check off Brock Purdy. You check off all these. What's the positive? Now, that's a negative because you're like, man, we got to go through all these guys. What's your positive? Ryan, you need a franchise quarterback. You're not fighting 10 teams anymore. And I'm not talking about having to go sign a guy. Next year's draft, how many teams do you think will be drafting a quarterback in the first round? Maybe
Probably three or four.
Maybe three. Maybe. And you could always have your Atlanta Falcons, shock, and all that kind of stuff. How many quarterbacks came out in the draft last year? 5 in the first round? There will be options. There's a sign of positivity. I don't know what Carson Beck is going to be in the NFL. I don't know what Dylan Gabriel or Quinn Ewers or Will Howard or any of these quarterbacks are out there. But there will be guys. There will be guys to go find you one. There's options. At least, you know what I'm saying? Like, a little sense of positivity where it could be doom and gloom to say, man, we missed out on this quarterback. We're screwed. I don't view it that way. I don't. Now, if they did void the money, that would certainly go a long way, too.
Yeah.
Of calling upon. But now, like, dude, who's going to be let go? Right? Dak's good. What other franchise quarterback's going to be out there? I'm just saying, it opens things up. Like, again, with whatever, you'll have options when it comes to the draft, man. You'll have your options.
Real quick, going back to this Deshaun Watson versus Jameis Winston debate, would you listen to an argument of if you do start Jameis Winston? I just said shart. If you do start Jameis Winston, Lamar Jackson. Remember when he did that? If you do start Jameis
No, Ryan,
Winston,
what are you talking? Of course.
If you do start Jameis Winston and we're just getting what we've been clamoring for, his average quarterback play, right?
Yeah.
Then would you listen to the odds that Deshaun Watson gets back to form are even like 60%, whatever, put whatever number you want
Sure.
on it. The odds of that are so insanely low right now that just pull the Band-Aid off, and at least if you have Jameis Winston giving you competent quarterback play, you, one, do still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's still certainly a chance there. We saw what Joe Flacco did. And ride into next season with still some momentum, and like you get Amari Cooper playing well, you get Jerry Jeudy acclimated to an offense with the Browns, rather than having this whole lame duck season going into next year.
No, I mean, I think you will. I guess my answer to that question would be this: you can recreate momentum. I get what you're saying, and I understand that it's important, but I also think it gets overblown a little bit because you can recreate momentum by just finding the right guy. If this season ends and we are just bottom of the barrel and we are just down in the dumps, what are you going to get excited about? The quarterback that we'll probably draft.
Yeah, I get that, but at the end of the day, you're still going to the playoffs with Jameis Winston. You're getting another playoff game under these guys' belts.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said make the playoffs with Jameis.
Yeah.
I thought you said you missed the playoffs. No. I'm sorry. You make
and
it.
you have a chance of making the playoffs and riding into next season on a high note.
Well, then I'll talk about carrying over the momentum of we can do it with different quarterbacks, right? When you wouldn't feel so good to say that we're so locked in. What you don't want to be is that there's only one way for us to do this. There's only one way. What do you hear about teams, right? They want to be multi-dimensional. They want to be able to do a lot of different things. So if you did go with Jameis, you would be so excited to say, we can find another guy just to come in here and play that role. We don't need, now I'll take Patrick Mahomes, but we don't need that because you're built everywhere else. I don't mean to take this into another negative light, but I have to. Ryan, the rest of that is going to change. Joe Bitonio might not be here next year. Myles Garrett's only got so many years left. There are ebbs and flows to this whole thing. And to be honest, and we're going to cut pretty raw right here, the younger talent on this team is good, but it's not very deep. You don't have 3, 4, 5 guys that are 3 years or younger in this league. Like, if you look at the Chiefs, there's so many guys that you're like, man, their future is bright. Oh, yeah, and then they still have Patrick Mahomes. I like MJ Emerson. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is a great player. Absolutely. What young guys do you really sit there and say, there's a really... DeJuan Jones, right? So that's even more of a reason of screwing this up when you did. You wasted away your window of opportunity. And I'm just going to have to open up another window. And you might have to do that with some key guys on this team not here anymore.
But you're talking about answers, right? Figuring out what you have on this team. Yeah, if you start Deshaun Watson and this goes as bad as it looks like it's going to be, then you're heading into next season with more questions than, let's say, vice versa. You start Jameis Winston. At least you get a glimpse, figure out if Jerry Jeudy was worth the squeeze. You get a glimpse of if Elijah Moore will actually get another contract with the Browns. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But at least you're getting some tangible answers if you have decent quarterback play heading into next season, rather than not even knowing what you have in a guy like Jerry Jeudy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like, I get what you're saying, absolutely, but I also just think that those decisions will be made no matter what. Like, even with David Njoku, when he had bad quarterback play, did everybody believe in David Njoku? Pretty much, yeah, because they're like, man, he's a good player. You knew that. You know, offensive line-wise, which, again, is something I'm going to keep circling, man, because next year I think there's going to be a lot of change up there. But, like, you know, that's almost independence of the quarterback, right? I want my quarterback to play well because it gives you more tangible example of if Jerry Jeudy, but also, Ryan, you're talking about two fringe guys.
But I'm also...
My season is not going to be built or lost because of Jerry Jeudy or Elijah Moore.
No, it won't be lost. I understand that. They're not these world beaters, but they're still going to... at least you get an answer on them if they're good in this offense. I mean, go back to last...
them to make that evaluation without it.
Matt, go back to last year, right? Imagine David Njoku ended the season with Deshaun Watson playing and he didn't get that spark from Joe Flacco and have probably the best 6-game stretch he may ever have in his career. Let's be real. That's how good he was when Joe Flacco started. You don't think he needed that?
No, I'm sure he needed it.
Now imagine if you could do something along the same lines for a guy like Jerry Jeudy.
Sure, but I'm also like, I just know Jerry Jeudy's going to be here. I understand. I'll say this. I completely understand what you're talking about. The thing is, what you're getting to is, This Watson situation has now opened a Pandora's box of questions. Because you questioned Deshaun Watson, now you're questioning Jerry Jeudy. Now you're questioning Elijah Moore. Now you're questioning Amari Cooper. You're questioning Wyatt Teller. All of that is now open for discussion because what? You are on a balance of, are we going to fall back into a freaking rebuild? And you're going to try to avoid that, but with the crap storm that's been created, now we have to open our minds back up that we might actually have to rebuild. How are we here one game into the season? And I said the words rebuild on a Tuesday. I hate this so much, man. And I'm never one at, like, you know, you want to get somebody angry, Drennan's on Wednesdays, okay? You go see that. Like, I'm not one of these people that just yell and freak out. I'm not that. God. Why can't it be easy, man? Hang on. I just a little swig of that.
I'm just like going like I'm just like I don't have any faith. I don't know.
I know, man.
I think truly I understand the holdout of hoping that Deshaun Watson can give you something.
I have nothing else.
But at the end of the day, I don't think he will, and I don't think many people obviously many people don't think he will. But then I'm just thinking, okay, you're doing a further disservice to your team and to players like I'm talking about Jerry Jeudy, where go find out if you have something in him.
No, and I mean, here's the thing. You got to go back to these guys and say you're professionals, you get paid a lot of money, and we're just going to ask you to pick up some of the slack here. Now, what you're talking about is this.
You think Amari Cooper wants to come back to this next year on a one-year deal?
No, the problem is they know that these players are not idiots, okay? They know that they are potentially a lame duck season here, and they'd probably like to go somewhere else or whatever, but it's just that's the world we live. You think Max Crosby likes just wasting away? You think Devontae Adams likes just wasting away on the Raiders with Aiden O'Connell? Probably not, but they're also the ones that decided they wanted to sign their contract. You know, watching that game last night, which, by the way, I want to get to our second two for Tuesday. Sunday night, Monday night football. You only get one. The other one goes away. What would you pick?
Oof. Let me think about that.
Think about it. Post that. Sunday night, Monday night. And factor it all in. The broadcast crews, the day, all that. If you only get one, the other one goes away forever. Sunday night or Monday night football. I put Thursday night in there too, but then, you know, it's
dude. I don't think I'm in the minority on this, and I know Cleveland has a certain disdain, if you will, for Joe Buck.
Yeah,
I love Buck and Aikman. I think I enjoy them a lot.
They're number one.
I agree.
They are. And here's the thing. I defend Chris Collinsworth. They work so well together. People, did you see that yesterday? 23 years they've been doing that. And I think that was a great move for ESPN. Fox is the one, no offense to Kevin Burkhardt, and I know that Tom Brady's going to get up to speed and all that kind of stuff. Fox is the one trailing in this. I love the Thursday night crew. Well, I mean, now that Al Michaels gone, is that now Noah Eagle's job? Does he call Thursday night football now?
Who was it?
It was Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah, because that was on Amazon.
Al's done. So I don't know who the play-by-play person is.
I know you didn't want to do this because he comes with some negative, but like best.
Is it still Al Michaels?
I do want to do a bracket one day of best broadcaster. Like,
it is still Al Michaels. No way is it still Al Michaels. Is it really? I thought they were going to get rid of him.
Dude, I don't know.
They need to.
If Lee Corso's still up there, I mean.
And Al's a legend. I know he is. Kirk is good. So here's my power. I think Buck and Aikman, which you're right, we got upset with how the World Series went and all that kind of stuff. Buck and Aikman, everybody's looking up at them. I do Tirico and Collinsworth too. And people I know can't stand Chris Collinsworth. I really like him as an analyst. I think he's really good. And I think Tirico is awesome. Mike Tirico's so great. So I think as far as Monday and Sunday Night Football, they're tier 1, tier 2. The thing I love about Thursday Night Football is I think Kirk is so good. I love that desk. I love Gonzalez with Whitworth and Richard Sherman. I think that desk kicks ass.
Dude, did you see Kelsey slip up? Jason Kelsey on the broadcast?
No.
Bro, it started in the first minute it started. They were talking like Jason, I guess, left his like luggage.
Okay.
And he had to go to the mall and buy a shirt, and it was a little tight.
Okay.
And literally the first minute of the broadcast, Jason Kelsey, he was like, "Yeah, it's okay around the gut, but my tits are still popping out." 1 minute into the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you sign up for with him. So you got to factor in the broadcasters on that question, but then you also got to say, okay, Sunday, you sit down, you've already had a day full of football, and then you sit down and you got more. Monday is you go through
Monday.
I think the answer is Monday Night Football.
Because one, we mentioned Buck and Aikman, who I think are, as you said, A1. And then also, it gives you something to look forward to on Monday.
Right. You get through it.
I like spreading out the joy.
I do too. And again, it's like Thursday, you sit down with a joyness.
I wish there was football tonight. I do.
Oh, you'll get that eventually. You know you'll get there eventually. Remember COVID when we were playing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays night and all that kind of stuff? But Sunday or just Monday. And we didn't put Thursday in there just I think it's definitely kind of third. But is Al Michaels still broadcasting that? Iron Eagle's on the play-by-play on the radio side of it. I thought they were replacing him. Am I wrong on that? Oh, wait, here. Well, no, that's because, again, they had it on NBC. So they didn't have it on Peacock. Or, I'm sorry, on Amazon Prime. That's what it is. Hang on. NFL announcers for all the games. Yeah, well... No Eagle Todd Blackledge, analyst. That was one of them. Tirico and Collinsworth, which we knew. Fox, CBS, we got it. ESPN, we got it. Al Michaels is still their play-by-play guy. Wow. And again, I like he's a legend. I get it. It's just listening to him last year was really painful. Really painful. He just lost fastball, man. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, man, I can't believe he's still doing that. All right. Both those are up. That was a lot of Browns in an hour to discuss this thing with Deshaun Watson and where we're at. I've got more from the NFL. Week 1, panic meter, key stats. Yeah, we'll get to all that coming up with Watson as well. Bill Barnwell, the surprise lessons that we learned from Sunday from each of the games. We got that. We got the grid. We got time up. We got the bracket, but we can go no further without talking about the guards.
Yes, sir.
Dude. Joey Cantillo pays me off, man. I've been a Joey Cantillo guy for a long time. Listen, that is what you are meant to do. You need to win these games against the White Sox. I know Nick Sandlin, whatever. It's fine. Why'd they get rid of my guy?
Scott?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's this roster game. Ghost got sent back down. They'll bring it back up. Emmanuel Clase, his 43rd freaking save last night. 2 strikeouts. Go after it again tonight. Do you know, this is crazy. I don't know how often people bet baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You know my thing. I like taking minus a run and a half.
Yes, you do.
That I never see in minus money. It's always plus money, plus 140. Plus. Ryan, the Guardians were minus 130 to win by 2 runs or more last night. Minus 130. You never see that in baseball betting. That tells you how bad the poor White Sox are. They're horrible. You beat them again tonight. That's all I ask. You open things back up here. You got lively on the hill against the guy that's 3-9 on the year. Just get your wins. That's all I ask for. We'll get it going. Also, yesterday was a sad day. James Earl Jones passed away.
Yeah.
I thought about changing our bracket, though.
Oh.
Because we're doing the best Sandler movie because it was his birthday yesterday. He was on the broadcast with Peyton and Eli last night.
I see where you're going.
The best movie villain of all time.
How have we
Darth
not done this?
Vader.
How have we not done this?
have done it I've done it before.
Oh, my God.
I have done it before.
I mean, I'm biased as hell, and
Because,
I know,
like
I'm obviously going to go the Joker, Heath Ledger.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, I mean, Darth Vader, Thanos,
let me hang on. Let me do this.
That's gonna ruffle my feathers.
Villain. I'm searching my Twitter. I know I've sent this before. Best movie. I know I've done this bracket before. I know I have. Hang on. Okay, movies. Let me see. I tell you what. I want to look this up and break. Because I know I've done this bracket before. Now, the question is, we haven't done it here, and this is a new venture for us. So you could almost sit there and say, who cares, right? We should just do it.
Yeah.
Do you just want to do it? You want to make that flip? The best movie villain of all time.
100%.
Best movie villain of all time.
So now do we pick?
That's the tough thing. We're going to need them all today because we're going to have to run the bracket.
No. I mean, do I do the Joker?
Like, I'm talking
Heath Ledger? Or?
No, you just do the Joker because then you can add Jack Nicholson too. Because it's like the character, right? Like Darth Vader over multiple. I know it's James Earl Jones.
Well,
David
let's just
Prowse,
the one C's are. It has to be the Joker, Darth Vader, Thanos, and something else.
Okay, so here's the other thing. Do you include like Michael Myers? Do you include things? Okay, do you want AFI's list? They came out with the AFI, the American Film Institute.
I'm not putting it. I'm not putting in Freddy Krueger.
Okay,
I don't think that's different.
So here's AFI's list of the 100 greatest movie villains of all time. They did this back in 2003, so you got to take into account that there's probably been, again, Thanos, all that other kind of stuff. Do you want the list real quick? At least the top ones?
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter, Norman Bates, Psycho, Darth Vader was 3, The Wicked Witch of the West.
See, Norman Bates, that's like along the lines of Michael Myers.
Nurse Ratched.
That One Flew Over
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Mr. Potter of It's a Wonderful Life. Was he not the one that was like, I need my money? That kind of, is that on it? I don't know. I've not seen It's a Wonderful Life. Regan McNeil of The Exorcist. See, that's where we're muddying the lines because like The Exorcist and Hannibal Lecter.
No.
The evil queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I'm enforcing my producer role of making the bracket.
Okay.
So no.
Alex DeLarge, A Clockwork Orange. Yeah. The alien from Alien. The shark from Jaws. See, like, that's,
No, I'm not doing
again,
that.
like.
Nope.
I don't know if we can do this then.
What do you mean? Like, I'm not putting Godzilla up there for best villain. Like, no, that's stupid.
The Terminator. In the first Terminator, he would actually. By the way,
no, that's stupid too.
Do you want you want your little factoid on this? The Terminator is the only person to appear on the hero and villain list of AFI's 100 greatest villains and heroes because he was a hero in the second one. And he was a villain in the first one. He's the only one to do both.
Wait, say it again.
The Terminator. You've seen Terminator 1 and 2, I'm assuming. Do you know the Terminator? Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Do you know in the first one, he's the bad guy?
Right.
And in the second one, he's the hero. He's the only character on AFI's list to appear as a villain and a hero.
Cap. Loki.
Again, 2003.
Oh.
So this doesn't, you know.
Oh, this is all pre-2003?
This is all pre-2003.
Oh, okay.
They didn't do, this list is 21 years old. Travis from Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro.
What about that bear, Lotso Bear from Toy Story 3?
You're going to not put Hannibal Lecter in, but you're going to put the bear in from Toy Story 3?
Yes.
This might not work, right?
Hannibal Lecter's not a villain
Freddy
in that
Krueger?
movie.
Cruella DeVille from 101 Dalmatians?
Sure, I'll accept that.
The Joker? Hans Gruber from Die Hard? Yeah.
Maybe. I'm just kidding. I'll put that one in.
What?
I just said maybe because I wanted to ruffle your feathers.
That's fine. Detective Alonzo Harris, Denzel Washington, Training Day was 50 on that list. You want the greatest heroes on the AFI list? Number 1, Atticus Finch, Kill a Mockingbird. Number 2, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 3, James Bond. Number 4, Rick Blaine, Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca. Number 5, Gary Cooper in High Noon. Number 6, Clarice Starling, Silence of the Lambs. Number 7, Rocky Balboa. Number 8, Ellen Ripley, Alien. Man, do they love Alien. I'm going to kind of pick around here a little bit. Han Solo, 14th on this list. Greatest hero of all time from AFI.
Did you say Luke yet?
I don't see him on here.
Han is above Luke?
Yeah. Superman, Christopher Reeve is 26.
Make that make sense.
Aaron Brockovich, 31. Tarzan, 34. Obi-Wan Kenobi on this list before Luke Skywalker.
Now the question is, what's the greatest Star Wars movie?
Return. Come on.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Let's.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No, it's am I misremembering this? Wait, hang on a second.
It's New Hope, Empire Strikes Back.
That's an Empire, not Return. Empire. I'm an idiot. Empire Strikes Back. That's the greatest one.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one. I was going to say, I said it. I'm like, that's not right. No, Empire is what I
That's the one with Lando.
Yes, Lando first shows up. You're on Hoth. You get them walking on Hoth. That one kicks ass. That one's the best. I haven't seen any of the new ones, so I guess maybe I don't really have the full scope of everything. Without a doubt, it's Empire. Okay. Without a doubt, it's Empire. I'll leave it up to you, man, because we're going to have some debate there. Mike goes, where's Rachel Phelps on the villain list? That's right. That's right.
Who's that?
The owner in Major League.
Oh.
The bitchy owner. Do you want your little factoid on that real quick before we go to break?
Sure.
Have you seen Major League?
Yes. Not in a while.
Okay. But you know how it goes. She's the owner that took the team over and she runs them in the ground, all that kind of stuff. So they shot an alternate ending to that movie where at the end of the movie, when they're celebrating because they beat the Yankees, Rachel Phelps walks into Lou Brown's office and she's smiling. And I'm paraphrasing this kind of how it goes. And she goes, you guys did it. And he goes, what? He goes, you were screwing us over and like you were doing all this. And she goes, I knew you guys had it in you the whole time. And I knew you were going to do this. So I played this role to galvanize you, to bring it together so you could go win. They played that for test audiences and they hated it because they go, we'd rather just think she was a bitch. You know, they're like, we hated her. We just wanted to hate her. So then they just left it in that she was the conniving son of a gun and they didn't win. Or she won and she hated him. So they had an alternate ending where she actually proved to be the good guy in the whole thing. And they're like, nah, let's keep it the way that it is. So yeah, she should totally be on there as well. So, okay, somebody just sent this to me. And you, Charles. Shout out, man. I appreciate you. So somebody tweeted to Andrew Brandt about, is there any way to get out of this contract? And he says this is literally the only contract in NFL history that a team cannot get out of, is what Andrew Brandt writes about Deshaun Watson this morning. I mean, that can't be true, right? There is no way that can be true. There's no way that there's not something, unless, again, I know people put moral, and I'm not talking crap on Andrew Brandt about this morning. Like, does he have the contract? Did he read through it? Does he know that for a fact? We know that everybody puts moral clauses into their contracts, right? If you do this or you do that, and NFL contracts, you can't go skydiving. You can't ride a dirt bike. All that stuff goes into these contracts. Even if they said we're going to set aside all the things that you've done in the past, how is there not something in there about new discovery? Or maybe it's like, from this point forward, he can't do anything? Maybe. So I just can't buy what Andrew Brandt's saying this morning. This contract they cannot get out of. I don't buy that. Other news, Browns working out Jeff Swaim, former Dallas Cowboys tight end. So a potential candidate to fill in while Njoku's out. So Jeff Swaim working out this morning. All right, catch our break. Lot to get to in hour two. Stay with us. Fontana.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. We got Noah joining in 4 minutes.
Oh my God. Let's just keep it here.
I
forgot Noah was joining us too. That's my fault. Do you want to do an abbreviated morning update before Noah joins us? I'm glad you said something, man. I got all wrapped up. We got everything with Noah coming up in a couple minutes. You want to get to it? Morning update?
Yeah, I suppose.
Let's do it. Morning update. The update is Noah Weisskopf going to join us here in a couple of minutes from the OBR. Boy, do we have a lot to discuss with Noah, so he's going to come up here in a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, Ryan's got all the stories. Ryan, please take it away.
All right, well, we spent a lot of time in the Browns, and we did a little bit of guards. We only have a couple minutes here, so I'm going to shift the gears a little bit. Let's talk Monday Night Football, yeah? Well, we all know that the 49ers, they beat the Jets in their opening game, but news came out on Jordan Mason, who filled in for Christian McCaffrey and had a great game. He was asked when he knew he was going to start this game, and he let it slip out that he said, maybe Friday night. Well, why is that a problem, Matt? Well, because despite all that, the expectation for McCaffrey was that he would be ready to roll. McCaffrey said Friday afternoon he had no doubts he would play against the Jets, and that's a violation, Matt.
Well, that is because they... Okay, why? Do you know, Ryan, do you know why there's an injury report in football? Do you want to know the sole reason that they publish an injury report in football?
Why is that?
Betting. That's it. Why do I need to know if a player's out or not? And that tells you they've been doing injury reports forever. Why do they do that? For people to bet. That's why people are angry. And you can get into them falsifying, injury reports and all that kind of stuff. in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really cares. Like, okay, so they thought he was going to play. They ended up holding him out. Because here's what the 49ers are going to say is that here's the cop-out, right? So they're going to complain and say, you told Jordan Mason on Friday that he was going to have to start, right? Then it came out that Christian McCaffrey went out Monday before the game, tested his calf, and he felt tightness, and they shut him down. The 49ers can say, well, we just told Jordan Mason that because we wanted him to be ready. And even if McCaffrey was going to play, we knew he was going to be in for a big role, talking about Jordan Mason. That's why we said what we said. Grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I don't want to hamstring teams from making the right decision. Yes, your fantasy team and maybe my betting got impacted. So what? I don't think it's a big deal. Now, you and I both easily covered last night. Nice little evening. We had a rough weekend. We had a rough Sunday. Made it back last night.
Missed out on $100 because Aaron Rodgers can't throw 2 touchdowns.
Well, and I got to shout out Jimmy Shapiro, Evan Abrams, and the Action Network. Boy, dude, you know what? And I did you a disservice out there. Bro, they gave me an insane amount of information for all the games this weekend. And I really didn't deliver them to you. You wanted the information that they gave me for last night's game? And again, I like doing this because it tells you what you know. Do you know that December 12th, 2021 was the last time that Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game? Since that, he is only 12-11 straight up, 10-13 against the spread. The other thing about Aaron Rodgers, he was just 3-13, now 3-14 in his career as a dog of more than 3 points. And that at the time represented the 4th largest opening week spread against Aaron Rodgers in his career. He had lost all the other ones prior to that, so we should have known. I cashed on it. The other easy one I had, Brock Purdy over rushing yards. Because the Jets defense was gonna lock him down. Picked that up 1 run. Done and done. I cashed on the line on the spread, and I took a Debo anytime touchdown.
What do you think about that Ayuk drop?
You know, people are like, oh, he gets paid all that money. He needs to make that catch. Dude, wide receivers drop passes. I don't know. How freaking good are the 49ers, though? They could lose Christian McCaffrey and not miss a beat.
Dude, Jordan Mason.
They are so elite.
He won me my
Absolutely
fantasy matchup.
Elite is what it is. Speaking of elite, that's Noah Weiskopf. He joins us right now from the OBR. You can always follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Browns with Noah. Obviously, we have a lot to recap for this weekend, Noah. But we start with the latest news with this Deshaun Watson situation. And again, as we've been kind of piecing through it this morning, we don't have a lot of information. We weren't there. We don't know what happened. But just Noah, as you view this, anything maybe you've even heard out yesterday and today about what's going on with Deshaun Watson, how do you view this situation with yet another off-the-field situation?
Yeah, certainly concerning. Especially given the fact that that alleged incident is not related to the previous ones. It's a different instance. And in that contract, I don't know if you guys have seen, but it does state that if he does get suspended by the league because of a separate incident that hadn't been known at the time of the deal, then the Browns would be able to void the rest of the contract and get out of the remaining guarantees after this year, because he's already been guaranteed the money for 2024. So it would be affecting post 2024 season.
Now, Noah, diving into that, because also that, I thought that was the case too. Because Andrew Brandt had a tweet that said something like, there's no way they can get out of this deal. And I never bought that. I was like, there's no way that they hundreds of millions of dollars on the deal that they don't have some sort of clause in there. And I don't know if you know the answer to this question. It's an unfair question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If, let's say that happens, okay, let's go down this path. He's suspended, he's put on the commissioner's exempt list, and the Browns say, we're done. We're getting out of this contract. I know they might not be able to get the cash back, but would that take all of the money off the salary cap to even the restructured money, or are the Browns on the hook for that no matter what?
It's a great question, and I know Jack would have the best answer possible, because I talked to him yesterday about the entire situation to see exactly what it was, and just to make sure that that was right, that they were able to get out of that after this year. But yeah, the only thing that I know for sure is that they would be able to void the rest of the deal following the $46 million for this year or whatever.
Okay.
I think that's the number for this year.
Yeah, and again, I know that's a tough question to ask. I wasn't sure if you knew. Noah Iskoff, OBR. To the game that we go, again, nothing to write home about Watson. Micah Parsons was in his face. Strictly from a football standpoint, Noah, what do the Browns do with Deshaun Watson right now? It's the short passes don't work. The long passes don't work. He can't run. He's not feeling the pocket presence. There's a lot of issues facing the Browns starting quarterback right now.
There's no question that the offensive line was at a deficit going into that game. There's no question they were out Jedrick Wills, Jack Conklin. They're two starters. There's no doubt about it. And DeJuan Jones played probably his worst professional game of his career on Sunday, right? But I think that everyone, especially a lot of Browns fans, are trying to use the offensive line as almost a scapegoat, right? They allowed the average time in the game, I think, for Watson to throw was 3.2 seconds. I mean, that's nothing that like could drastically affect an offense. He needs to get the ball out quicker. And I wish I could give you like the one thing, like this is what's wrong. They need to fix that. But it did not look good, obviously. There were some throws that he airmailed out of bounds that I don't know if he's trying to throw away or just like missed the throw. I'm not sure. But I just think genuinely it's a lack of continuity. And I've been talking to a lot of people over the past 24 hours just to see like, this did not look good. What is it and why did it not look good? And I think that the biggest thing that I've heard is just probably a lack of continuity. The Browns brought in a lot of new offensive coaches. They brought in some different backgrounds. And it almost seems like there's a lot of different inputs trying to be put and made into one offense just to see what sticks. And it did not stick. They need to figure it out and figure it out quick because their next four games, they go to Jacksonville, they play the Giants, the Commanders, the Raiders. I mean, you can't get an easier schedule this early in the season. So if there's any time to fix it, they need to do it now. And I don't know if they're going to look better against worse competition and then go play a legit team like the Eagles after that, a little bit after that, and then just get obliterated again. I don't know what it's going to look like, but if there's any time for them to fix it, it's against the inferior teams that they're playing in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
No, what are you hearing about the offensive line? Again, interesting that Conklin didn't make it. They go Hudson. We know DeJuan Jones missed a couple of plays, but Stefanski downplayed that yesterday, saying he should be fine. Best guess, I'm going to assume we get one of those guys back this weekend, right?
That would be the goal, and that would make a huge difference. Again, like the less superior team that they're going to play now go to Jacksonville, who still is not a bad team by any stretch. I think the last time I was on, one of you two had loved what Jacksonville was doing this year.
Me.
So I guess I know who you're going to pick this weekend.
We'll see.
The hope is to get at least one of them back, and they just really have to wait and see how this week of practice goes without making a decision. But if not, James Hudson and then the elevation of Ifedi will have to be what it is. I mean, that's the state of the line. But at the same time, they went against one of the top three defenses in Dallas. They're known to give pressure. They have Micah Parsons. Like, they're a great defense, but at the same time, I mean, 3.2 seconds for Deshaun to throw. You can't throw the blame on an offensive line after that performance by the offense.
To Njoku's injury, they wouldn't say high ankle sprain. That's what we're all worried about. It sounds like he's going to miss a couple of games at minimum. It sounds like no. They worked out Jeff Swaim today, apparently. So maybe trying to get some reinforcement. They have to know because they only have one other freaking tight end on the roster, which had me head scratching when the first roster cut down happened. We know they don't want to play tight ends anyway, but now, Noah, they have no choice. But I almost want to go 4 wide receivers. Like, I'd rather see Cedric Tillman out there running around than Jordan Akins and Jeff Swaim at this point.
Yeah, and that's the goal, right? Like Ken Dorsey's offense, they want to use wide receivers as much as they can, and that's why they didn't keep more than 2 tight ends, because they want to involve these receivers so much and evolve this passing game. So that's why they have 2 on the practice squad. They had 2 on the active roster, or I guess still have. I don't know if Njoku's going to be an IR candidate or not, but yeah, they're going to utilize wide receivers more. You're going to probably see a Cedric Tillman get more of a role while Njoku's out in hopes of putting this pass game to life, period, not even reviving. But they also signed Tony, so maybe they get him acclimated as fast as they can, and elevate him from a practice squad to utilize that extra receiver spot if you're going to continue to play a guy like Tillman.
Somebody got really upset with, I think, Tom Pelissaro, because they go, Browns signed playmaker Kadarius Toney, and somebody goes, why would you call him a playmaker? That was me. No, tell everybody that's just like a practice squad move, right? Like, I know people saw him like, what? No, it's like, he's just going to be on the practice squad. They just want to get a look at him, right?
Yeah, it's just for the potential, right?
Yeah.
Like, you bring him in, it's a very, very low risk signing him to a practice squad. If you can get him ready for a game, elevate him. That doesn't even mean that he's going to step foot on the field, but just to have the extra body there and potentially a guy you can plug in and who can make a play. That's the goal.
Noah Weiskopf joining us. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter, Browns with Noah. He's got all the coverage that you need. Back to the quarterback situation. There's a lot of people is already going to start calling for Jameis Winston. And Ryan and I got in a little bit of a spirited debate in hour one about how this outlook goes. And listen, we all know this starts because Deshaun Watson played like crap on Sunday. We know that. And I'm the one that's saying that I need to keep playing him until it is unequivocally he can't be the guy. And I don't think we're there yet. Now, again, we're trending in that direction, which I get, but we're not there yet. Noah, how do you think Jameis Winston factors into this? Do you think the Browns will eventually get to a point to try to save the season and try to make the playoffs and go to Winston? Or do you think this is truly going to be ride Deshaun Watson as your starting quarterback until the wheels completely fall off?
It's a tough situation for Cleveland. You bring in a guy like Winston for a reason, right? Like Joe Flacco, without me actually telling you guys, Joe Flacco left. He wanted to remain in Cleveland, but Joe Flacco ultimately was not able to resign in Cleveland. They bring in Jameis Winston, and because of his character, I think it's a little bit less pressure on Deshaun, right? Like Winston has said time and time again that he's happy being that number two guy, being, I guess, in a sense, Deshaun's number one cheerleader. And that's what he's going to continue to do. He's going to continue to support Watson because there are players. I don't know if you guys saw what Anthony Schwartz said about Deshaun Watson yesterday on Twitter.
No.
Something to the effect that he was the most talented quarterback he'd ever been around prior to his shoulder surgery when he was there. I don't know, something to look into. It was just interesting that he came out and said that after the game. But it's a tricky situation because if you end up benching a healthy Deshaun Watson, then you're more or less telling him that he's not your guy. And what do you do at that point? He's not a free agent. I think he has 3 more years left on that 5-year deal. Then you're going to have to find a way to get out of the contract. So that would be what it is if they end up putting Jameis in. But at the same time, like if this offense continues to look like this, you got to make a change. You can't roll through the season and risk like a 4 to 5 win season with the roster that they have. So at a certain point, it's going to have to happen. Is that point probably in the near future? Probably not. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think you just got to keep going this way. And what happens, again, off the field, commissioner's exempt list, if that whole becomes a thing. Final thing on that, no, do you expect the league to come out? I said I would imagine the Browns already declined comment. I don't think the league can decline comment on this, right? Like, they've already stepped in on this Watson stuff before. I'm sure they're aware of it. Do you expect maybe something to come out from the league today, tomorrow on that?
The league declined a comment yesterday. Okay. I mean, they're going to have to say something at some point. But you guys, I mean, Browns fans know as much as anyone how slow the league deals with this kinds of stuff. I mean, the Watson stuff felt like 4 to 5 weeks in between every statement. Yeah. So, I mean, this stuff is going to take a while, and you'll get a feel if this starts to gain a little bit of steam.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They might have to let the legal process play out. And like you said, if this actually is something, then that's a whole other thing we got to deal with on top of the fact our quarterback's not playing well. No, really appreciate you, man. Maybe we'll catch up next week on Twitter. Browns with Noah. Enjoy it, man. Better get after Jacksonville. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
Yep, let's do it.
There you go, Noah Weiskopf. So really interesting stuff because, like Noah said, talking to Jack, there had to have been a way for that contract. Ryan, there's no way that they could have just handed him this and say, you're absolved of everything. That's not protecting the team. That's not protecting the Haslam's investment. There's no way they could have signed that deal, right? So like Noah said, there had to have been something in there about, again, what I assumed is what Noah said. What we know about is off to the side. You can't be suspended, or we're at least not going to impact you for your money for what is known. Because the other thing you got to remember this too. There's the Browns in the league. The Deshaun Watson has no deal with the NFL in place. The deal that he signs with the Browns sets it aside of what was known at the time can't impact his money. He's got no deal like that with the NFL. The NFL can do whatever they want. They can put it back on the commissioner's exempt list. They can do it for a full year if this is found out to be true. And then put the Haslams to have that written in. This is new. This is separate than everything else. And I just would imagine there had to have been a way to get in there.
Sobering stuff.
Sobering stuff. Here it is. Well, speaking of sobering.
I was thinking, like, I mean, I know we missed yesterday. We didn't do it.
Yeah. For the practice, I guess. Might as well.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, damn grid.
Right.
Yesterday was a bad day, man. We were in flux. We were ruined. We screwed Wordle up.
Yeah, that was bad.
How about this? What if we do the grid and the Wordle today? And we get both of them.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We got to move here. It's already 10:30. Ready?
Yep.
Ready? Go. And by the way, for those that are new, we do the grid every day. We get 5 days in a row. If we screw up, we're allowed to do Wordle. And you get a full week, then we give a giveaway. And the big giveaway's coming. Oh, by the way, I got to get that address from Mike. Did you get Mike's address?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, okay. Send that to me. I'm going to get in the mail today. Mike Johnson won our giveaway yesterday, so I appreciate you, Mike. So we get to that. Ryan's already filling it out. Go.
All right. First round draft pick, 3,000 yards. I mean, who do you want to do?
I would assume to be paid back.
Sure.
Probably a good guess. All right.
Where do you want to start?
Let's just do the bottom. 3,000-yard passing season. Saints, Drew Brees.
Burrow.
All right. Bengals, Cardinals, Carson Palmer.
Or AJ Green.
Either one. That's right. Those work. Bears, Saints. Ted Ginn? I remember him on the Bears. Do I not?
I don't remember.
Now, I almost remember him on the Cardinals, too. I know he played for the Cardinals. Cardinals, Saints, Ted Ginn Jr.
Did he play for Cardinals?
Yes.
Well, Saints, Bears, is that not Andy Dalton?
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, wait.
Oh, true.
Wait.
True, very true.
Wait.
Very true. We could do
Okay,
something
so
else.
let's now, we're a minute in, we got a good spot here. Okay.
I mean, Jay Cutler, did he play anywhere?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he did play out, but he was in Denver.
Yeah.
I don't think he went to either one of those other spots. Oh, I have a good Bengals Saints, but that's not what we need. Bears Saints.
There's this probably one that we're just not thinking about.
Sure. Is it not Jimmy Graham?
Bears Saints?
Yeah.
Did he play for Bears?
Didn't he play for the Bears?
I think he did a season.
Yeah, I think he did too.
That'd be embarrassing if he didn't, though.
Pretty sure. Yeah,
All right, there it is. We needed to move through that fast. All right, let me pull up Wordle.
Pull up Wordle. Pull up Wordle. Debit will be our first word of the day today. Because we screwed up debit yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
We should probably try another word on the off chance that actually is the word and we ace it on the first one. That'd be pretty incredible. Divot?
That would be a crazy pull.
What about cream?
Get some balls in there. I like the
Yeah.
thought process.
Okay. How about R-E?
Mm-hmm.
You want to do rusty? We're going to lose the T again, but at least it could get us there.
Well, hold on.
Oh, no. What? I'm such a dumbass. There's no E there. I'm such a moron. Sorry. Reg. Regurgitate. Maybe it's not R-E. Maybe R.
Maybe it's ER. Oh, no.
No, because the R is right there. What about, I think it starts with an R. I'm feeling it's starting with an R. What about R? Now, maybe not. WER?
What about rules?
Sure. Okay, all right. So then it's got to be...
So not RL, obviously.
No, it's got to be, the L's got to be at the end. It's got to be at the end. So R blank blank EL.
Ooh,
What?
maybe there's 2 E's. Rebel?
Sure. Nice!
Let's go. Let's go.
In record time.
Yeah, that was really good.
Good. All right. Maybe the streak is back. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But nonetheless, we'll get to it coming up at the end of the show. Got our bets for the Guardians to get to tonight as well. Do you want a break? You want us to get right to timeout? I'll leave it up to you. We'll go breakless show if we don't. Should we take a break?
It's up to you.
Let's go right to it. Time off it is. Let's go. Because we got a really busy timeout with a lot going on, so we better get to it, including just 1 year ago today, the Browns take it to the Cincinnati Bengals. Season opener a year ago. We beat the Bengals 24-3. Deshaun Watson, he basically had the same game almost. He had 154 yards. He threw for a touchdown, but also ran for a touchdown. Joe Burrow, 14 out of 31 for just 82 yards. We ate him up, 2 sacks. He had a 35 quarterback rating. Nick Chubb, 18 carries for 106 yards. He didn't score. Your leading receiver was Elijah Moore, 3 receptions for 43 yards. Grant Delpit was your leading tackler in that game. And we did not pick off Joe Burrow. The unfortunate thing was, 1 year ago today, Jack Conklin suffered his knee injury. Season opener, man. Went down again against the Bengals 1 year ago today. You know how the season ended? We made the playoffs. It's all good. No, dude, think about that, too, about the Bengals. About how bad they were last year. Starting it out, then Burrow gets hurt. Now we're the Bengals right now. We'll see how it goes. This day, 2020, the Browns had their Vegas odds released. Over-under of 8.5 wins. To make the playoffs was plus 100. To miss was minus 130. Of course, that was COVID. We won double-digit games, went to the playoffs, cashed the over, and you're plus 100 to make the playoffs. This day, 2017, Browns season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We lose 21-18. Now, the interesting part about this game was right before the game. Do you remember on Sundays, Ryan, before the Browns would play? We would always get reports. It seemed like every freaking week that right an hour before the Browns game, there was some little news nugget to come out. Do you know what it was this day, 2017?
2017. So this was before week 1?
This was right before week 1, and we were playing who? The Pittsburgh Steelers. Who was on the Pittsburgh Steelers at that point, Ryan?
53 guys.
Yes. One of them was Joe Hayden.
Ah.
And the report came out an hour before the game that Hugh Jackson was irate over the Joe Hayden release. Roethlisberger, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Deshaun Kaiser got the start, 20 out of 30 for 222, a touchdown and a pick, and he also ran a touchdown in. And Joe Hayden had a sack in that game for the Steelers, but that's what came out this day, 2017. This day, 2016, the greatest in-person sporting event that I've ever been into in my life. Saturday night, Quicken Loans Arena. Stipe knocks out Alistair Overeem. Dude, so Stipe got hurt in that fight, and Overeem caught him. Then Overeem got him in the ground. He got him in a guillotine, and he was trying to choke him out. Stipe gets back up. He tags Overeem a couple of times. Overeem gets him back. And then Stipe takes him down. And I swear to God, and I was up in the rafters. I sent the picture out. I was not close, but I was there. That's all I cared about. I was there. And he's got Overeem in the mount, right? Or not in the mount, he's in guard. And he's sitting there, and he's hand fighting him. And all of a sudden, you just saw Stipe's hand get through, and you see Overeem's head bounce. And everybody in the arena's going, and then he does it again. And then you just see Overeem's head bouncing off of the canvas. They call the fight. That arena erupted. Because, like, the UFC, when they go places, usually it's rare that everybody is in on one guy. Bro, we were in Cleveland, Ohio, with Stipe Miocic fighting for the belt. There was not a single person in that arena outside of Alistair Overeem and his coaches that didn't want to see Stipe Miocic win that fight. The place erupts. And then he stands up and he gets the belt. And then after, Overeem started saying he felt Stipe tap when he had him in the guillotine, and everybody goes, boo! Like throwing him the bird. It was great. The best sporting event I've ever been to. Plus, CM Punk was on that card. I watched CM Punk get his ass kicked, which was interesting. But UFC 203, this day 2016. This day 2006, I'm shocked it took this long, but I guess not that long. It was the first time ever that Peyton and Eli Manning faced off against one another. And it was the first time in NFL history that two brothers started at quarterback against one another. Peyton got the win, 26-21. This day 2006. This day 1995. For the first time ever, the Browns and the Indians both played regular season games on the same day. Of course, it couldn't have happened before because they were both playing Municipal Stadium. But the Browns beat Tampa Bay 22-6, and the Indians beat the Orioles 5-3. This day, 1995. For the first time in history, they both played regular season games on the same day in Cleveland. I'll get to this with movies and TVs in a second. One more. Do you know about the famous Browns-Steelers beatdown of 1989?
No, I don't think
it was the season opener, and the Browns beat the Steelers 51-0 this day, 1989. It was at Three Rivers Stadium. Bernie went 16-25. You want to know the craziest thing, Ryan? We put up 51 points. Bernie didn't throw a touchdown. Mike Oliphant rushed in for one. Tim Manoa scored two. Clay Matthews had a fumble return. David Grayson had a fumble return and an interception return for a touchdown. Here's the scoring. You ready? We open it up. Clay Matthews, 3-yard defensive return for a touchdown, fumble. Matt Barr field goal. David Grayson, 28-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Matt Barr field goal. Tim Manoa touchdown rush. Matt Barr field goal. Tim Manoa 2-yard touchdown rush. David Grayson, 14-yard pick six. And Mike Oliphant, 21-yard touchdown. We beat the Steelers 51-0. Bubby Brister. 10 out of 22, 3 interceptions. He was sacked 6 times. We beat the Steelers 51-0 to start the season out. So it's funny. One of the things we used to do at ESPN Cleveland, we would take a trip up to Detroit every year, and we bring all the fans. We go watch the Indians play the Tigers, and we go to the casino after. I loved that trip. It became a tradition that somebody, because on those old.
Why don't we do that?
I'm down
Let's
to
make
do
a
that.
trip.
I got contacts. We can do that. So here's what it would be.
I have contacts too. They're in my eyes.
I got rid of my contacts. I got LASIK. Shout out to LVC. They're the best. We'd get 2, I keep want to say double-decker buses. Buses. 2, what's the word I'm looking for?
The things with the wheels?
Yeah, those. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
Like a wheel or something?
My
where they
1-year-old.
steer?
And he just say wheels on the bus. My 1-year-old.
Did it have windows?
Stop that. What is the word I'm looking? Not tour bus.
Like one of those Baron buses?
Yeah, what do they call those?
A bus?
Stop. Oh, my God.
A big bus?
Charter. A charter bus? Is that what I'm talking about? Oh, my God. I'm in the blender. Anyway, we'd get 2 of those, okay? And we'd sell however many tickets to fill up 2 buses. You got a ticket to the game and a hotel room for the night. And whatever you wanted to do beyond that, oh boy, do I have some stories from that.
So can we do this?
Yeah, why not? We used to do with MGM. MGM. So the nice thing about MGM was
Guards don't play Detroit anymore this season, do they?
no, we can't do it this year. We need more time. And it was like I don't know. People would pay 100
for a Browns game.
Well, they're not playing Detroit this year. We can go down to Cincinnati. If
Right,
you
let's
to.
do that, and then we can.
Those
link
tickets are so hard to get, though.
We can link with Bango and Drew and.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that the tickets are insane. So what we would do is this: we would do RBS on Friday. The bus left at about 1:30, and get on the bus, drive up there, get there. I don't know, about 3 o'clock, maybe a little after that. With a bus, it would go a little slower. We'd always have to stop for people to use the bathroom. And you could bring on whatever beer you wanted to. People were just getting hammered. But the reason I brought it up was a tradition started that on those buses, they have the VHS player for all the little TVs. Somebody would bring VHS copies of the Browns 51 beatdown over the Steelers. We'd watch that for 2 hours on the ride up. Good times. It was a fun time. Then we'd go, you'd check in, you'd go to your hotel room, and then you were free for the afternoon. Then there was a shuttle that would then take you because Detroit gets dicey in some areas. Please take the shuttle. We'd go over to Comerica, watch the game, come back, gamble the night away. And there were people that were like, I don't care about the game. I'm here to gamble. There was elderly couples that were like, we just want to go to Comerica. They'd go, but we just want the hotel room. We have no interest in gambling. We just want to go to the ball game. That's what it was. So I had a lot of fun with that. Our best bet with that? Because going to a Browns-Bengals game, I think getting, that's 150 tickets, 125 tickets. It's hard to get.
Yeah.
We might be better off doing this, going down to an Ohio State game and picking like Marshall this weekend or something like that. But I'll throw it up to the powers that be. The big play trip. We could do that. Steelers tickets probably be cheap this year.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be cool. But again, you got to get the hotels. Got to get there's a lot of logistics that we'd have to work through.
Nah,
that.
I got a buddy in Pitt.
All right, we'll just stay at his house. That's how that goes.
Oh, I said I got a buddy in Pitt.
You can't say we're going to do a trip and then go, everybody else is on their own.
Sorry.
Everybody else is on their own.
Get more friends.
This day, 1937, the Cleveland Rams played their first ever NFL game. We fell to the Lions 28-0. This day, 1919, Indians' Ray Caldwell no-hit the Yankees. I feel like it's been since 1919 that we've had a no-hitter. Cancelo almost tried last night. Do you know about the Battle of Lake Erie?
Is that not like the? Don't they have like a memorial in Clinton Bay or something?
They kind of do, because it has to do with the War of 1812. So this happened this day, 1813, the Battle of Lake Erie. U.S. Captain Oliver Hazard Perry, Perry's monument, leads a fleet of 9 American ships against 6 British warships in the War of 1812, right outside of Put in Bay. Could you imagine that? Just sitting on Put in Bay watching them go to battle. A little bit different at times. That's where Perry Monument comes from. Oliver Hazard Perry was the U.S. captain that led his fleet of 9 American ships.
Imagine having to still load a musket.
But can you imagine loading a cannon like back in the day and then just kind of aiming it? And the thing is, like, I don't know, did you ever play Assassin's Creed?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I don't know why I think we missed. All right, turn around. Just like pull the sheets. We got to turn around. About face. I mean, even watching the Patriot. Can you imagine standing there with their musket? They're no more 30 yards away, and you just got to stand there and hope they don't aim for you.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you and I'd be screwed because we're the 2 tallest guys out there, probably.
Yeah, that would be an
It gets smoked right away. Cannons coming straight at you. Ugh. Bad time. But yeah, like being on a warship like that. And yeah, about face, wait, turn, blow your musket. Like, okay. Times were different, man. Very happy birthday goes out to the big unit. Randy Johnson celebrating a birthday. Ben Wallace, talking about it, Detroit. Arnold Palmer, Joey Votto, Joe Perry of Aerosmith, Shaq West. Everybody go listen to Mo Bamba today. And Matt Rife, Cleveland comedian and around. All right, I got a lot of pop culture for you today if you're ready.
Yep.
All right. We'll start this day, 1994, a television show. Actually, you want to know what?
90 or 80?
94.
Okay.
These are actually all TV shows for you today.
Okay.
1994, an enthusiastic teacher, along with her pet iguana.
Bro, what? Is this animated?
Yeah. Takes her class on some very interesting field trips.
Oh, the Magic School Bus.
Magic School Bus is correct. Miss Frizzle, Didn't they try to do a live action one of those? I don't know. He shrinks down. They're in your body. Whatever. Magic School Bus, this day, 1994. All right, next up, another television show. This day, 1993. I think that this is one of the most underrated TV themes of all time. This was... I don't know if I think I might just give it straight away if I did that. The series revolves around two special agents of the FBI.
X-Files.
That's correct. Who investigate the X-Files, marginalized, unsolved cases usually involving paranormal phenomena. Mulder is the profiler and supernaturalist conspiracy theorist, where Scully, the doctor, is the non-believer, so to speak. Yeah. That X-Files theme is so good, man. I never really got into it. There's a couple episodes. You want to know the episode that always remembers? I don't know how much you watched the show. There was one that a guy lived in an HOA, and there was a paranormal thing that if you didn't follow every HOA rule, it would come kill you. And he's sitting there. The light bulb in his street lamp goes out, and he runs out there, and his hands are bleeding because he breaks, so he's untwisted because an unseen force. Could you imagine that? How they came up with that episode? That if you don't follow your HOA rules, that an unseen force would come kill you.
Yeah.
So then the gimmick was Mulder and Fox, or Scully and Mulder, move into the neighborhood, and Mulder starts digging a pool. And everybody goes, ah! And he goes, no, I'm trying to welcome this thing in. I got to catch it, And he's digging up a reflecting pool and all this other kind of stuff.
Getting murdered because you put up a fence.
X-Files or, oh my God.
Or Supernatural?
No, not Supernatural. The old school one. Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone's goated. Again, two great themes. But this day, 1993 for the X-Files. This day, 1990. This one's a music one. If you want to guess, I guess you can if you want. This day, 1991, I'll just tell you, It Smells Like Teen Spirit was released as a radio single.
Banger.
This day, 1991.
That's a banger.
People say it's overrated. People say Nirvana's overrated. So this is what it is. All right, back to the movie, or back to the TV shows. This day, 1990. This is one of my favorite shows growing up. And I would sing the theme song for you, but you don't want me to sing this because you don't want me to sing the song.
Full House?
No, I hate Full House.
No.
I love Fresh Prince. This is a story about how my life got turned upside down.
Okay, well, first of all, I would have gotten this, no doubt, but you literally just said the answer. You said, I love Fresh Prince.
Did I really say that?
You just said, oh, no, I hate, what did I?
I said I hate Full House.
You go, oh, I hate Full House, but I love Fresh Prince.
Oh, well, my bad. That was a Freudian slip. I was pulling up the lyrics. I didn't screw it up. This is a story about how my life got turned upside down. Yeah. I like take a minute if
really
you just sit right there. I love Fresh Prince. It is the best. So Fresh Prince this day, 1990. Alex Trebek debuted as the host of Jeopardy this day, 1984. R.I.P. to him. Final one. I don't know if you're going to get this one because we go all the way back to 1955 for this television show.
Okay.
This show ran for 20 years. 20 seasons.
What year again? 55?
1955.
Okay.
It began as a radio series that eventually was created into a television show.
Okay.
It's a Western drama series, of course. 635 episodes over its 20-year run.
Young and the Restless?
No, Western. Think Western.
I don't even know if that was a Western. That sounds like
it,
a Western.
It was not. Set in Dodge City, Kansas, during the years of the American Civil War, the series follows the lives of U.S. Marshal Matt Dillon and the citizens he is sworn to protect. Among them are his deputies Chester Good and later Festus Hagen, town doctor Galen Doc Adams, and saloon owner Miss Kitty Russell.
No idea.
Most episodes involve disruptions caused by those arriving outside Dodge City, since Dillon's authority does not extend beyond the town. Some episodes focus on his travels. Other pilots revolve around mishaps occurring when Dillon is gone.
Not a clue.
Any idea? Just a legacy Western show.
I don't even know if I know.
You don't even know one?
No.
Do you know Gunsmoke?
No.
Would not have gotten it. Gunsmoke is the answer. It debuted this day, 1955. No shot. You know who doesn't have a shot tonight? The White Sox. Screw them. Guards. Just come on now. Lively's on the hill. Do you want me to run through some statistical things here for you so we can place a couple of bets here?
It wouldn't be a Matt Fontana show if you didn't.
That's fair enough. I had a good weekend on the football side of things, buddy. You turned around. We both got 49ers last night.
Yeah.
What did I go? 11?
Yeah, you had a good week.
11-4-1 or something like that? Let's go.
You weren't that good.
What are you talking about? I thought I had 10 wins.
No, let's go check the film.
Yeah, 10-4-1.
I sit corrected.
10-4-1. 10-4-1.
I
It will
sit
only go
corrected.
down from there. Well, let's see. All right, Guardians, a giant favorite, of course, tonight. That's the thing, dude. For them to win by 2 runs is minus 135. For them to just win the game is minus 225. Over under set at 8.5. Here we go. Ben Lively on the hill. Here's where I was going to look. He's got 3 and 4 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. So he's not been striking out a lot. And this is actually, I think, a very big bounce back game for him. You know, people are kind of questioning Lively. I think he's kind of questioning himself a little bit. And coming into this game, the White Sox actually are not as bad as you think. They're 19th in baseball in strikeouts per game at 8.6. So let's do this. Do you want to do 4 for Lively?
Okay, I like that.
Let's do 4 Lively. Cannon on the hill for the White Sox. A win and 2 losses in his last 3 starts. The over is hit 2 out of his last 3 starts as well. Under is hit 4 out of the Guardians' last 5 games, 6 out of the last 8 on the road. I kind of like this. I like Lively 4 strikeouts, Guardians minus a 1.5, and the under 8.5. How about that?
I like that.
You like that? I'm just assuming the White Sox are not going to score. I'm assuming they don't care.
Browns are signing linebacker Kaliki Hudson from the Saints practice squad.
Linebacker? What's going on there? That's a weird one. To the active roster, they're taking him off the practice squad. They have to, right?
Yep, 53 man.
All right, Guardians minus a 1.5, under 8.5. Strikeouts, give me 4 for Lively. Gets me to 425. You want to give me a hit today? Jimenez, Quan, Ramirez, Naylor, Lane
Yeah.
Thomas?
Yeah, okay, I can see it.
Gets me to plus 700. Give me the hook, though. I want the 8.5. They got it in an even 8. All right, that's our bets for tonight. Guardians should be able to clean it up and go. All right, what do you want to do about the bracket?
Let's do villains.
Do you want to do villains?
I do. I like that one.
Okay.
What was the other one? Adam Sandler movies?
Yeah, they're both movies. I feel like we all kind of gravitate back towards the movies a little bit. Do you want to do villains and you want to open it up for people to submit to us and we'll just tweet out all 4 of them tomorrow?
Sure.
Let's do that. We're going to pivot in honor of the late, great Mr. James Earl Jones. That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Mufasa, of course, Darth Vader, The Sandlot, Field of Dreams. That's sad, man. But 93. We should all be so lucky for 93. So thoughts and prayers out there. All right. Chris Easterling with a tweet. Tony Fields and Mohamed Diabate are both hurt. So that's probably where you're at with the linebacker today. So we'll see. All right, man. I think we're all going to kind of be on alert for this Watson stuff the rest of the day. We'll see where it goes tomorrow. Back at it as the Browns are back to work. I don't know how to feel about this, man. I really do not know how to feel about this when it comes to Watson. And it's just, if the league says something, if there's any update, we'll keep you going. Follow us on Twitter at Big Play. You can download the Big Play app. We're up on YouTube. We're up on Twitter. We're up on Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitch. And again, the brand new Big Play app, which, by the way, not on the app. You want to come to a VIP watch party with us? Giants? Go to bigplay.com for entering. 25 winners and a guest. 25 people and a guest get to come to our lounge. Greg Williams, I think I'm stopping by for this one. We'll see you there. Bigplay.com. Go to bigplay.com, enter your information there, and you'll have your chance to win. Food, entertainment will be provided, and we'll see you there on the 22nd. All right, tonight, return Josh Maria Cribbs. Got to enter the jungle with James Rapien and crew, and you can always check us out on the app. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.